Headlines this morning: Anambra State government intensifies measures to achieve statewide open defecation-free status. Academic activities resume in Anambra Riverine communities for first term. NYSC vows to sustain prosecution of fake graduates. A foreign scene this morning: Turkey backs peaceful resolution of Ethiopia's Tigray conflict. Coronavirus is real. Stay alive, stay safe. Remember that wearing of protective face mask is compulsory in Anambra State. Defaulters are liable to a 10,000 naira fine. Community service of both. A very good morning to you and welcome to the news. I am Ebere Ugonna. Anambra State government says it is targeting to achieve a statewide open defecation-free status in the nearest future. Governor Willie Obiano gave the promise while speaking on the declaration of Anambra East local government area as open defecation-free during the first ever Southeast Regional Water Conference in Awka. Correspondent David Apokwasale reports.
Governor Obiano, who enumerated the achievements of his government in expanding access to water supply through declaration of state of emergency on water supply and sanitation and setting up of a steering committee to ensure full implementation of policies by his government in the sector, assured that the government will not relent in ensuring that everyone in Anambra has access to potable water. The governor, represented by the Commissioner for Public Utilities, Mr. Emeka Ezenwanne, said the urgency to meet the demands of water and sanitation and to create enough manpower for the sector drove the formulation of policies made by his administration in the past 7 years.
We agree with me that our access to safe and improved wash facility, we address the SDG 6A and 6B accordingly. And being an enabler in our economic blueprint, it will continue to attract investment, and the Anambra State will remain the first choice investment destination, most preferred location to site new industries.
The Minister of Water Resources, Malam Suleiman Adamu, represented by the Managing Director, Anambra Imo River Basin Authority, Mr. Okechukwu Swagwo, underscored the need for government at all levels to work together and step up the actions needed to achieve the achievements of the National Watch Action Plan.
The federal government is saddled with the report of policy, advice and formulation. The state government, through their agencies, are directly responsible for provision of water supply in the urban, semi-urban and rural areas. The local government authorities are responsible for provision of potable water supply in the rural communities within their jurisdiction.
The chairman, Anambra State House of Assembly Committee on Public Utilities, Chief Imanwafo, on his part promised the support of the lawmakers in enunciating laws that will ensure better control of the sector, especially as it regards regulating drillers and ensuring that more trained professionals are involved in the industry.
My coming here as a legislator, I know one or two things which I have picked, and we might equally institute a law to put up a control over the Southeast regional waters, more especially as it concerns human consumption and the disease control.
The first Southeast Regional Water Conference, organized by the National Water Resources Capacity Building Network Southeast Center, is targeted at creating the necessary manpower knowledge base needed to create more access to water in the region and ensure that the region becomes open defecation free.
Anambra State government says its commitment to the welfare of journalists is total. The State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Sidon Adenoma, stated this while receiving the new executive of the Correspondence Chapel of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Anambra State Council, led by its chairman, Mr. Chuks Ilozue, in his office at the Jerome Odoje State Secretariat Complex in Awka. Staff reporter Njideka Okoye report.
Anambra State government has reassured of its commitment towards promoting welfare of journalists. The Anambra State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Sidon Adenoba, stated this while receiving the new executive of Correspondence Chapel of Nigerian Union of Journalists, Anambra State Council, led by its chairman, Chief Chuks Ilozue, who paid him a courtesy visit in his office at the State Secretariat, Awka. Commissioner Adenoba expressed satisfaction with the cordial working relationship between the government and the journalists towards development of Anambra, describing Governor Willie Obiano as press-friendly chief executive who has equipped ABS with modern facilities and cleared accumulated pension and gratuity of 2 state media houses owned them by previous administration.
Anambra is moving in a new direction. We have a governor who has a good attitude towards. Since he became governor almost 8 years ago, he has not ordered any action against any journalist, any correspondent, even when he writes negative stories. He has equipped ABS that become the most technologically advanced broadcast from West Africa.
Earlier, the chairman of the chapel, Chief Ilozwe, who commended the government of Governor Willie Obiano, said they came to receive fatherly blessings from the Information Commissioner as a father to journalists before commencement of their activities, assuring readiness to partner the government in achieving its laudable programs in line with principles of development journalism.
My call on members to cooperate and collaborate with the state government. What we have now is development journalism. You cannot achieve much with antagonism. If you antagonize the government, you don't really achieve much. But that's not to say that you become the lapdog of the government. Where the government is going wrong, you tell the government, but then as much as possible, emphasize more on developmental journalism.
In a vote of thanks, a member of the delegation, Comrade Dave Eleke, thanked the commissioner for the warm reception and pleaded with the government to assist them to overcome some of their challenges, including an office accommodation. Some of the members present at the courtesy visit include Comrades Nkiru Nwagbo, Suzy Oroya, Oke Madoforo, while handing over of the address to the commissioner formed high point of the visit. Inoka Njideka Okoye, ABS News.
The Senior Special Assistant to Governor Willie Obiano on Secondary School Monitoring, Dame Chinyere Mbakwe, has embarked on the monitoring of academic activities in some secondary schools in the Ogbara local government area to ensure that a special academic calendar introduced by the Anambra State government for schools in riverine and flood-prone communities have taken off in earnest. We have details.
Some of the schools visited include Ideke Grammar School and Community Secondary School, both in Odepe. Others include Community Secondary School, Atane, Josephine Odua Memorial Secondary School, Achilles, among others. At all the schools visited, students were seen in their classes receiving lessons, while senior secondary 3 students, numbering 164, were seen in the school hall of Community Secondary School, Odepe, ready to write their WAEC examination. Some of the teachers who spoke to the ABS, Mrs. Hope Amakeze, an Igbo language teacher, Vice Principal Academics of Community Secondary School, Odepe, Mrs. Monica Ifa-Agwazie, and that of Ideke Grammar School, Mrs. Florence Edokwe, thanked the state government for the initiative, which according to them will make students in riverine areas to be at par with other students in other parts of the state. The trials said they come to school now with ease, urging teachers and students to utilize the period for serious teaching and reading, as they have no excuse not to be at their best.
I thank him so much for that knowledge he brought out, at least to help the riverine area, because the other time they were being cheated. By now we'll be on holiday, and when we come back again, the rain will ask us to go for holiday. That is the fraud.
We are comfortable with this arrangement. So beautiful. Even the teachers, we are excited. We thank God for the person, whoever initiated the idea.
Some of the students, Kosiso Oba and Ifoma Okafo, who recounted their past experiences in coming to school under heavy rain and flood, expressed joy that they do not have to grapple with passing through flood to come to school or miss classes. They thanked the state government for having the interest of Anambra State students at heart, promising to reciprocate by making good grades.
When we came in September, we usually swim because flood will overcrowd our school. But if we start now, The land are dry.
The senior special assistant to Governor Obiano on secondary school monitoring, then Chinyere Mbakwe, during the visit to each of the schools, took time to instruct both the teachers and students on the need to be serious with their duties and studies. Then Mbakwe explained that the reason for introduction of special academic calendar for schools in riverine and flood-prone communities was to enable them to cover their scheme of work, which initially was not achieved due to yearly flooding. Then Mbakwe advised the students to take their studies seriously, telling them that there is no room for excuses, expecting them to come out with good results, as everything has been put in place to suit them.
He find it worthy to give the riverine areas new calendar, which made them to resume this August. And both the teachers and the students, they turn en masse. And not just the tournament, they were happy about it.
Ogochukwu Orano for ABS News.
Members of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Anambra State, said they will participate actively in the November 6, 2021 governorship election processes. The chairman of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Anambra State Chapter, Bishop Moses Ezedebego, announced this during a world media briefing organized by the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria at their secretariat in Amobia. Correspondent Ngozi Obuleri reports.
Bishop Ezedebego said that they are mobilizing their members to get PVCs and be ready to vote with fear of God during the election, and disclosed that the PFN Anambra State has set up a committee called PFN Network for Good Governance, headed by Dr. Amechi Nwachukwu. The group is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring PFN's proper representation in the coming dispensation of governance in Anambra State. Bishop Ezedebego said that PFN will be organizing a prayer rally on the 17th of September 2021 at Ekweme Square, Oka, to pray for Anambra election and Nigeria in general, adding that the prayer rally, which is an annual event, will attract their national president, Bishop Francis Wale, and other PFN national executive members, and urge the members to attend.
We ask our youths not to allow any candidate to use them during the campaign and election day proper to foment trouble. We have mobilized our teaming members across the state to arm themselves with their voters' card to vote the candidate of their choice. We need a governor for everybody, someone that will carry everybody along.
Also speaking, the chairman of the PFN Network for Good Governance, Dr. Nwachukwu, said that they are always to carry out their civic responsibilities, stressing that over 500,000 Pentecostal members scattered in many churches across Anambra State will be on ground to vote and defend their votes, urging all political parties to choose their candidates wisely.
We are going to see a lot of Pentecostals stepping forward. And remember, the things that many of us don't know is that if you do head count in Anambra State, we are more in number than many of the churches we think are bigger than us. We are doing massive mobilization. Yeah. And any politician that ignores Pentecostals in this election is going to ignore Pentecostals to his own peril.
Well, moving on to our national stories now, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has inaugurated various groups, including a 63-man campaign council, elders forum, advisory council, and support groups ahead of the November 6th governorship election in Anambra State. Members of the campaign council are expected to move to all the wards in the state to establish the campaign management team to ensure victory for the party's candidate, Chief Valentine Ozigbo, in the forthcoming governorship election in Anambra State. We have details.
In his speech during the inaugural ceremony, Chief Valentine Ozigbo said that God has a hand in the project, adding that he is highly honored and humbled to be associated with eminent members of the People's Democratic Party. According to Chief Ozigbo, teamwork is required for the party to forge ahead, stating that commitment, sacrifice, and dedication are required for the attainment or success in the November 6th governorship election in Anambra State. He reminded the Anambra that their votes must count in the forthcoming governorship election, while asking members to return to the grassroots as emphasis is on teamwork and local politics, noting that members should target registering over 200,000 persons in the ongoing continuous voters registration exercise by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Emphasis on let's sacrifice and let's team work. Let's team up and bring that spirit of teamwork. A proper benefits of today on the Gambia after
the chairman of the PDP Governorship Campaign Council, Senator Uche Ekwunife, said every executive member of People's Democratic Party at the wards and campaign coordinators of all aspirants must be part of the campaign team. According to her, all elected legislators on People's Democratic Party platform in both national and state assembly must be accommodated in the campaign council, while appealing to members to show dedication, commitment, and hard work for the attainment of their goal. The Director General of PDP Governorship Campaign Team, Dr. Lex Obiobolu, called for commitment from
the National Youth Service Corps on Wednesday reinstated that it would not bow to pressure to compromise its mobilization process. The organization said anyone caught with fake certificates during registration would be prosecuted as enshrined in the NYSC Act. The Director General of NYSC, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, according to a statement by its Director Press and Public Relations, Adenike Adeyemi, issued the threats when he hosted the Registrar CEO of Health Records Officials Registration Board of Nigeria, Alhaji Babangana Mustafa, who paid a courtesy visit to him and his office in Abuja. He assured that they would move collaboration to the next level and will continue to post graduates of health information management to medical facilities. Speaking earlier, Mustafa, who described the NYSC as one of the critical stakeholders of the board, expressed gratitude to Ibrahim for his support to the board since assuming duty as the NYSC helmsman. He commended the DG for preventing unqualified persons from being mobilized by the scheme for service. And on business news, the riverine communities, no doubt, are the food basket of the state. At this period of rainy season, these communities usually flood the markets with their farm produce through the River Niger, either by canoe or boat. Correspondent MM Guinea Osadebe, who was at the riverbank of Marine Axis of Osokwodu Market, Onitsha, where these farm produce were being unloaded, reports that the farm produce included pepper, granules, potatoes, yam, cassava, pumpkin, among others, her report.
The Marine and also Okwodu river sites, which were formerly ghosts of themselves, have now come alive with a beehive of activities as buyers were at hand bargaining for the produce, while some youths were seen unloading the yams from the canoe and boats by the river sites. It also provided an avenue for some youths who were on holidays to make bricks business as they assist the buyers carry their produce to their waiting vehicles, either with pan or wheelbarrows. Some of the people that spoke to ABS believe that with the arrival of new yam in the market, hunger will subside due to its importance to various homes. Some of the farmers that brought in the produce at market, which include Messrs. Ekobalo Ndife, Udoji Abata, and Udoka Onyebuje, said though the yams are trickling in gradually due to low flooding, but disclosed that the sun also affected the growth of the produce, which resulted to low harvest, and expressed optimism that by the middle of August, new yam will flood the markets. They noted that the yams are expensive due to high cost of yam seedlings during planting season, and called on the government to assist the farmers by providing them soft loans so that they could cultivate plenty for food sufficiency in the state. Some of the traders at the market, Mrs. Chinyelu Akuchuku and Mrs. Nkechi Obo, expressed gratitude to God for the arrival of the yams into the market, saying that though it is expensive compared to last year, which according to them it was due to high cost of living in the society. They noted that a heap of 100, which was formerly sold between 80,000 naira to 100,000 naira, now goes for 120,000 naira or more, as the case may be.
Next year, contributing, a buyer, Mr. Chime Odile, noted that at the onset of the new arrival, the produce is usually expensive, saying that he bought his own at the cost of 1,500 naira each, as against 800 naira last year. He expressed optimism that the price will go down if the produce begin to flood the market, as most towns are yet to celebrate New Yam Festival.
So, much. No, must no is job na putawa debe, and most towns in Anambra State economy need job. Nyabna, oyabna nego job kita ya le ki okon. Mana bob na ji aputa wo riven the price nyonuji agbadata.
From Onitsha, Emengino Sarebe, ABS News.
Moving on to the foreign scene, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has backed a peaceful resolution to Ethiopia's Tigray conflict that has displaced tens of thousands and left millions hungry. He also said Turkey was willing to mediate between Ethiopia and Sudan to resolve a separate border dispute. Erdogan told visiting Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed that the war-hit country's peace and integrity is important to Turkey. Northern Ethiopia has been racked by fighting since last November when Abiy sent troops to topple the Tigray People's Liberation Front, the region's then governing party. Tens of thousands of Ethiopians have fled to refugee camps in Sudan to escape a conflict that the United Nations said has pushed 400,000 people into famine-like condition. In July, the UN warned more than 100,000 children in Tigray could suffer life-threatening malnutrition in the next 12 months. Ankara and Addis Ababa have friendly relations, and the two leaders pledge to boost economic cooperation and trade. And on sports news, Nigeria's team to the Under-19 Boys Volleyball World Championship in Tehran, Iran, will depart for the Asian country today. The event holds from August 24 to September 4, 2021. Nigeria, the African champions, are in Pool A with host Iran, Poland, and Guatemala. Media assistant to the chairman, caretaker committee, Nigerian Volleyball Federation, Dare Kuti, confirmed that the team would depart for Iran today. Meanwhile, head coach of the team, Sani Mohammed, announced the final 12-man list for the World Championship on Wednesday. The team will be captained by Kano Pillars Michael Abari and assisted by Nazar Thunder's Jerry Kinze. The Nigerian under-19 players played against Kaduna selected and Abuja selected in their final friendly before the World Championship. And that's it on the news this morning. But remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ABS Television. Okay. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com for more updates. And just before we go this morning, a quick look at our major stories. Anambra State government has intensified measures to achieve statewide open defecation-free status. Academic activities have resumed in Anambra riverine communities for first time. NYSC has vowed to sustain prosecution of fake graduates. The foreign scene were brought to you that Turkey is back in peaceful resolution of Ethiopia's Tigray conflict. Coronavirus is real. Stay alive, stay safe. Remember that wearing a protective face mask is compulsory in Anambra State. The fault is liable to a 10,000 naira fine, community service about. And that's the size of our package this morning. Many thanks for joining the bulletin. I am Ibere Ugonna. Good morning. Anambra continues shortly. Please stay with us.